Okay, we're on page 101. We're going to be talking about ratios and rates in tables and graphs. All right, so ratios and rates are a comparison of two things, and we're using only multiplication and division to compare those two numbers. So for example, they could give you a situation like this that says, for every toy ball Nathan buys, he gets 2 free stickers. So for every toy ball Nathan buys, he gets 2 free stickers. So when we hear every, that's one of our multiplication and division keywords, but it also means 1. So for every 1 ball, he gets 2 free stickers. So we're comparing those, right, with multiplication. So we can make a table. Let's say it gives us this situation. It wants us to either make a table or make a graph. Well, we need to make a table first. Our go-to is to make a table. So 1 toy ball, and I get 2 free stickers. All right, well, when I get to this point, I can start making these up right here. So I'm just going to say 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I have to follow this rule right here. And I know because of this word that we're multiplying or dividing. So it's going to be, my rule is going to be times 2. So all the way down, just like last night, the rule is times 2. So our rule is times 2. So, well, how do I make a graph from this table? So if this is my x values and these are my y values, then I can use these x and y's to write my ordered pairs that will go on my graph. So I have x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 3, y is 6, and so forth. So those are my ordered pairs. Okay, those are going to go on my graph. So right here we have our x-axis and our y-axis. So I'm just going to count by ones. So I'm labeling my x-axis right now. Okay, remember, I'm going pretty quickly so the video won't be so long. So if you ever need to pause it and catch up, that is perfectly fine. So I'm going to graph these ordered pairs. So I'm going to go over 1, up 2, over 2, up 4, and so forth. So over 2, up 4, over 3, up 6, over 4, up 8, and over 5, up 10. So if I draw a straight line, my line goes through the origin. All right, you learned last year at the very end of the year that means that it is a multiplicative relationship, which we've already proven right here. So this graph right here, they could give you a graph and ask what kind of relationship it is, or they could give you a graph and they could ask which scenario or what situation goes with the graph. All right, so if they give you a graph, make a table every single time. Okay, if they give you a situation and want a graph, make a table. If they give you a situation and want an equation, make a table. All right, so right here we can see our rule is times 2. So if we were to write an equation, we would say x times 2 equals y. So that would be one example of an equation that I could write for this graph and this table and this situation. So what if they give us a graph like this and they say, all right, if Nathan receives 40 stickers, how many balls did he purchase? So our graph doesn't go up to 40 stickers, okay? Because our x-axis was the number of toy balls that I bought, and then this was the number of the free stickers that I got when I bought those toys. So because my number of stickers doesn't go up to 40, all right, as a 6th grader, I know how to set up a proportion. So I would look and I'd say, okay, for 1 ball, I would have 2 stickers. Okay, so I could get that off of a graph. And then I would put my 40 stickers where they go, right here. All right, so if this isn't an answer choice, all right, I could put, instead of balls over stickers, I could put stickers first, then over the toy balls, and then stickers over the toy balls. So 2 stickers for 1 toy ball, and I have 40 stickers. So I'm trying to find that missing number right there. So if I cross multiply, I get 2 times x, and if I cross multiply, I get 40 times 1, which is 40. Now I have an equation that came from a table, okay? I have an equation that came from this problem in the table together. So that might be an answer choice. If I want to solve it, how do I get rid of times 2? Divided by 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. And now 40 divided by 2 is 20. So I actually answered that question right there. Okay. If I had 40 stickers, I would have to buy 20 toy balls to get those 40 stickers. All right, so on the back, number 1 says Rochelle is riding a train to her aunt's house. The train travels at a constant rate of 55 miles per hour. So that per tells me, yes, that's 1 hour, but it's also multiplying and dividing. Okay, that's going to be my rule. So when I get from hours, okay, they say H is the number of hours and D is the distance. So D is the distance. So hours and distance. Okay, hours and distance. So if I look at each answer choice, I'm saying 1 hour for 55 miles. So I have 1 hour for 55 miles. That goes with the story. Well, there needs to be 1 hour here for 55 miles. Okay, that's wrong. 1 hour for 55 miles. That should be 55. And 1 hour for 55. Okay, so if I'm thinking that it's either multiplication or division, then my rule is probably going to be multiplying by 55 right here. Okay, I'm not going to be dividing to get a bigger number with whole numbers. So I'm multiplying by 55, multiplying by 55. I'm thinking that's going to be my rule, okay? So on this right here, I have to check if 3 times 55 is 165. It is. 5 times 55 is 275. It is. All right, so when I look here, 1 times 55 is 55. 4 times 55 is actually 220. All right, so we know that D is not an answer choice. So we get A. So on number 2, a brownie recipe requires 4 cups of sugar and 3 tablespoons of vanilla. Okay, so 4 cups of sugar for 3 tablespoons of vanilla. So I need to have cups over tablespoons, so I have cups over tablespoons. So it's asking me, if the recipe is reduced, which proportion can be used to find the number of tablespoons of vanilla V needed if 1.5 cups of sugar are used? So I'm going to put 1.5 cups here. So I'm looking for something that has 4 and 3 together, and then it has 1.5 across from 4. So I don't see one that has 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. So maybe if I take this and I put tablespoons over cups, and then tablespoons over cups, maybe I can find something that matches. So 3 tablespoons for 4 cups, and then I have 1.5 cups. So that right there matches C. All right, so on this problem, this is talking about ratios and rates, okay? It's kind of putting a little bit of a review in here. So we're talking about to mix purple paint, we have 8 cups of blue paint for every 5 cups of red paint. Which table shows the possible values of R, the number of cups of red paint that Tia uses, and B, the number of cups of blue paint? So we want in a bigger scale, like if this is an art teacher and she wants to mix a whole lot of paint, okay, for a really big project or a really big class, she doesn't want to have to do 8 cups of blue and 5 cups of red, and then do 8 more cups of blue and 5 cups of red. So she wants to know which of these ratios are equivalent to 8 cups of blue paint for every 5 cups of red. So we need to make sure blue paint is 8 cups and red paint is 5 cups. So blue paint is 8 cups. Nope, that's not right. These have them mixed up. Okay, so A's out. Blue paint is 8, red paint is 5. Yes, blue paint is 8, red paint is 5. Blue paint is 8, red paint is 5. So far, C, B, C, and D are looking good. So now we want to, and it didn't ever say to find a relationship here. It didn't say to ask, it didn't ask us to find a rule at all here, okay? So we're gonna see if this ratio is equivalent to this ratio. So whatever we do to the top, we can do to the bottom, or we can do butterfly, and we can cross multiply and see if they're equal. I see that this is times 2, and it's the same thing on the bottom. Okay, 8 times 2 is 16, 5 times 2 is 10. And then I look here, and I can't find a multiplication relationship, so I go back to 8, and I say, okay, I see a relationship between 8 and 24, and that's times 3. So the relationship here should be times 3 as well, and it is. And then this is times 4, and this is times 4. So those are looking good. Let's use another strategy on this one. All right, so if I cross multiply, that's 25. If I cross multiply, that's 64. Those are not equivalent cups of paint, okay? This one is times 2 times 2 times 4 times 4 times 8. That's not times 8. All right, so B is our answer.